want to touch on grief and the grieving process. Especially as men, it can be challenging sometimes because of how we're meant to show or not show our emotions and our feelings. And recently, I had to let go of a mate. He passed away, and he was one of those guys that we grew up working together in the 90s. We were police officers together, and we had some amazing times in work a little bit, but outside of work. And we just became great mates. And he was one of those guys who I would see not all the time, but occasionally might not have contact for 12 months or so. And then all of a sudden we'd talk and we were like we spoke yesterday. And when people get sick, and we had a bit of warning about this great mate of mine, you're in hope that things will get better and change, but deep down inside, you know that it may not work out that way. And so, as for me, I just started reflecting on those times we had. And after we heard that things would get worse, I was lucky enough to go and see him, talk about some fun times, tell him I loved him, tell him I appreciated him, and got to say my goodbyes. I don't always get to do that. But afterwards, I got to speak to a couple of our mutual friends and talked about some of the fun times that we had, some of the laughs and the shares. And I was just extremely grateful that I got to spend those moments with him, and that he helped mold who I was as a person. His personality, his love, he just had this presence about him. And I'm so extremely grateful for that opportunity to be a part of his life. And I think when it comes to grieving, being grateful for knowing the person, for knowing, for sharing those moments, being grateful for that and appreciate them in your life, for allowing them to become who you become. I think that's one of the most important things about grieving and going through the process. It doesn't mean we can't get sad and upset and cry. We absolutely have to do that. And anger, we have to let go of all that. We have to go through that process to feel the love on the other side and the gratitude. And that's not just for losing a loved one. That's for losing a marriage, or not seeing your children as much as you want to, or losing a job, or moving out of a community. I remember leaving Kalgoorlie, where I work with this guy, and I cried when I left, because I had such a strong connection with the people within that community, because I had so many great times there. And what I look back now is I'm just so grateful for those moments, because the friends that I've lost along the way, even just because of distance and time, and we just went our separate ways, from the relationships that I've had, I'm grateful for everything that I've lost, because they allowed me to grow and mature and learn as a person, to help me become who I am today. So no matter what it is, whether it's losing a marriage, or losing a loved one, or moving out of community, or losing friends, be grateful for those moments, those people in our lives, those communities who helped us become the people we are. Just use some gratitude. Think about those fun stories and how you learned from them. Just my thoughts on it. Enjoy the rest of the week. Peace, love, and healing, and I'll speak to you soon.